Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Ray from Fandroid, and today we are taking our first look at the ZTE Axon 10 Pro. Now, this phone did make its debut over in Europe about a month ago, but is now available here in the US and is selling for $550. Now, while that may sound like it's a mid-range smartphone, it's actually packing flagship tier specifications with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor on the inside, 8 gigabytes of RAM for the base model, going all the way up to 12 gigabytes if you want that, and then 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. Up front, there is a full HD Plus AMOLED display with curved edges with Gorilla Glass on the front and the back of the phone protecting it. And then there is a 20 megapixel camera within the teardrop notch up front. And then you also can't see it here, but there is an in-display fingerprint sensor because they wanted to keep the back of the phone pretty nice and clean. As far as the cameras go on the back, you're looking at a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel Sony sensor. That's the same one that we've seen on flagship devices all throughout 2019. A 20 megapixel sensor with an ultra wide lens, and then a last 8 megapixel sensor with a 3x telephoto zoom lens as well. It does have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, quick charge 4.0, and then wireless charging, which honestly is a feature that we never see on a device that sells for $550, especially these flagship devices that are trying to sell for a budget. So that's a quick look at the hardware of this phone. Now let's jump in to see what the software experience is like. The software experience on this phone is actually pretty good. ZTE's done a really good job of pulling things back over the last couple of years and landed on a nearly stock Android experience. On the home screen here, we have the regular customization options going into wallpapers, being able to select those widgets, and then some basic settings for customization here, how many app icons you want in a single row, and then being able to choose between different themes as well. But then going back to the launcher, it's a pretty stripped down version of Android here. You do have some customized applications that are pre-installed with Office Suite and Facebook, but other than that, there's really not a whole lot of bloatware here to speak of. And then on the home screen, they've also integrated, on the US version at least, the Google feed for those who enjoy that. And then jumping down here into the quick notification toggle area, they've done some little bit, again, not a whole lot, a little bit of customization just to give it a unique flair for their own devices. And then jumping into settings, pretty much close to what you would expect on a Google device as well. And as you can see here, it is running on Android 9 and should be getting regular updates a lot quicker than ZTE phones have in the past, simply because it has this stripped down version of Android. As far as the camera goes, again, this has 3 different cameras on the back. You get a 48 megapixel standard, 20 megapixel ultra wide, and then 8 megapixel telephoto with a 3x zoom. And this here is the standard. Well, we're over in video mode, but a standard photo. Moving over to the ultra wide, giving you that wider field of view, and then the 3x zoom, being able to go in and get really close and find the details in the shots. But we'll be doing a test later on to actually go into the camera quality and see if this is actually better than some of the other devices that are on the market. And that's going to do it for our quick look at the ZTE Axon 10 Pro. It is a mouthful to say, but it actually looks like a pretty decent device, especially considering the price point. This phone is selling for $550 in the US with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, but there are options to take it up all the way to 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage if you only bump it up by $50. Thank you guys so much for watching, and for more coverage of the ZTE Axon 10 Pro, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing a full review and camera test of this device as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.